Hey, good morning, guys. I made us a checklist, all right? I'm calling it a check-in checklist. I was gonna make up a fancy song, like "Made you a checklist. Please check it twice. Not about who's naughty or nice." Okay, moving on. All right, enough sigh. Hey, we're almost there. As I shared yesterday, the plan this week is to do little that's new. All right, we have our diary draft that we're working on this week, and my goal is for you to not only get that in by Friday, but also to have these other things checked off the list. All right. Um, with that, all right, I want to go through this with you really quickly. All right. It's really into three categories here. The first one being the most important. Okay. What I would like you to do is I'd like you to look at these four items here. All right, they're from this quarter. Okay, going all the way back to the Stating Themes Learning Check. It was due on 11/13. Um, I can show you that really quickly. All of that stuff is down here in Freedom Riders. All right, so here's the Stating Themes Learning Check. Okay, another item that's there is the Practice Learning Check. That was the one with character. All right, and then I think there's been a little bit of confusion because they're so closely named, the Stating Themes Learning Check and then the Learning Check with theme. Okay, both of these right here were the CCC paragraphs. This one was just practice with stating themes. You had to state 5 themes and select one of them. All right, so they're different items. Okay, please go back and look at those if you haven't done those yet. And I'll talk about what it means to highlight here in a second. And then the other one from Skyward that needs to happen is your check-in chapter. All right, this was your letter to me telling me how things are going so far. All right, so those are the four items so far that we have in Skyward. All right, and I'm going to add one here in the next day or two, and I'll talk to you about that in just a moment. All right, but importantly, I only want you to highlight it if there's a one that's been recorded in Skyward. That means you're done. All right. So remember, one means done. Okay. If it's a 0.7, your work's not done yet. That's an invitation for you to respond to the feedback that I have provided to you. All right. So please don't check these off your list. All right. Now, if you have a 0, that's one thing. That's a get it into me. All right. And as soon as you get it into me with work done, you'll get to a 0.7. All right. Um, but if you have a 0.7, all right, there's time, okay? And so I just want you to be aware of what still has a 0.7 here. That doesn't mean it's a huge priority this week, all right? But if you have a 0, it is a huge priority. Please get these things done right now. From the outside looking in, having a 0 in here is killing your grades, as you well know, all right? Skyward is not your grade, but to outside eyes, i.e., your parents, okay, when they see that, the alarm bells go off, as you probably well know. So if you want to quiet the alarms, get these things done and get them turned in. All right. And I'll get you up to a 0.7. Only highlight these if they're up to a 1. For wisdom riders, okay, these are in descent. These are in kind of chronological order here, starting with choosing a path, going to the discovery draft, all right, the developing draft, the planning my draft or planning my diary activity that we did, and then ultimately the diary draft, which is what you're working on right now. The reason I put all of these here is because they were designed to be a step-by-step process to get you to the diary draft here. And there are even a couple that I left out, like the anecdote activity and a few other activities, which I think are important. All right. But these are the big items that were specific intentional steps to get you from choosing your path to writing your diary to actually beginning your diary this week. Okay. And so, with that, let's focus on getting these things highlight here once they've been submitted. All right. So, what's different up here is this is not about it having a score of 1. This is about whether you have actually submitted it or not. And if you've submitted it, whether you've gotten feedback or not from me, please highlight it yellow. Okay. And then finally, just to kind of a reminder about your feedback journal. All right, there are 2 items so far: your theme learning check and what was the other one? And then soon to be for many of you, your developing draft focus and purpose, right, which I've been giving feedback on for introductions. Okay, so those are 2 places. Let me double check that. Yes, those are 2 places where uh, you should be able to copy and paste all of my feedback comments into, and I'll remind you of what it looks like. It looks like this. So you put my feedback here, and then anything that asks for you to revise, I just want a brief summary response of like what you did. Okay. So with that, I've been rambling on here a little longer than I wanted to. Nothing new, nothing more new this week. Just a bunch of doing and getting things checked off our list. Okay. So if you need help finding any of these things, please let me know. Again, the Skyward one is the most important, particularly in terms of making it look like you're not in trouble with your grade, all right, with outside eyes. And so maybe we could get a lot of you in a position where you're not going to be in any trouble over break or having to deal with any stress over break because you have parents asking you about missing your late assignments, all right? So let's please try to get this taken care of, all right? And then let's move down and try to get this taken care of. What I'm going to be doing is working to get you feedback as quickly as I possibly, as meaningfully and as quickly as I possibly can. So that'll be my work. All right. Hopefully this helps a little bit. All right. Let's check this list twice. All right. I would find that rather nice. Okay. Peace out.